We have some breaking news as the Blockbuster trade the Lakers made to acquire Mark Williams has been blocked. Shams has just come out with a brand new report revealing this trade is not going through. Lakers fans are annoyed. Lakers fans are confused. And now the Lakers are without a center besides Jackson Hayes past the trade deadline. This is very confusing. It's a bit of a disaster. We're going to break down these reports and discuss what it means going forward. Before we get into it, folks, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, it's the place to be for daily Lakers content. If you're enjoying the daily content and you're a part of that 86%, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely absurd. I mean, this has been a crazy trade deadline. The Lakers are coming off a huge win. The vibes are very high. The Lakers have their future superstar in Luka, already superstar, but the future of their franchise in Luka Doncic. They made a huge trade to acquire an up-and-coming center in Mark Williams. And then it gets blocked, and now we're past the trade deadline, and the Lakers don't have a starting center that is really a championship caliber starting center. And you can see this here. The Lakers and Hornets trade involving Mark Williams and Dalton Knecht has been rescinded due to failure to satisfy a condition of the trade. And this is after Shams comes out and says that the trade has been rescinded, which is just beyond confusing. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know where to begin with this. But ladies and gentlemen, Mark Williams is not going to be a Los Angeles Laker. And this has a ton of implications, not only for this team, but the trade deadline has passed, ladies and gentlemen. And now this trade has been rescinded. We have some details we'll dive into. But again, at the time of recording, this just dropped minutes ago. There hasn't really been any clear-cut details dropped surrounding why this deal hasn't gone through. We're going to do our best to break it all down. But again, it just dropped a minute ago. Shams says that Mark Williams and the Knecht trade has been rescinded. The Lakers and Hornets trade involving Mark Williams and Dalton Knecht has been rescinded due to failure to satisfy a condition of the trade. And there's speculation. We'll dive into some of the speculation. But at the end of the day, someone clearly failed a physical, and there's been some rumblings about how it could be Mark Williams who failed the physical and how he could be injured and how the Lakers dodged a bullet. I don't want to speculate too much, but I don't think it's on Mark Williams' side. And I think Mark Williams was fairly healthy. He just played a bunch. I don't think that's the case. You have this here from Dave McMenamin. Does Mark Williams have an injury or tried hiding something? People are very upset. Hayes at R5. I'm out. I don't think it's that big. I mean, it's a pretty big deal, ladies and gentlemen. But you're without a starting five. The Lakers do not have a starting center. No matter how you want to go about talking. I mean, they have Jackson Hayes who's been playing better. For all the talk about this trade, about Luka Doncic and how his perfect starting center was Mark Williams, you had people coming out and talking about the trade internally, whether that be Rob Pelinka, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, saying they don't know how they pulled it off, how they got one of the best up-and-coming centers in the game in Mark Williams. You don't have one now. And not only do you not have Mark Williams, you do not have a starting center. Now, this is extremely important. Jovan Buha says the Lakers say that the trade between the Hornets and the Lakers failed and has been rescinded due to failure to satisfy a condition of the trade. Which side failed? The Hornets. So this is something very interesting now because it's not on the Lakers side, which means it's not on the side of Mark Williams being injured. It's on the side of the Hornets, which the players who went out in that trade were of course Dalton Knecht, Cam Reddish, and some other guys as well. People are starting to speculate now that Cam Reddish failed the trade. Now, I mean, if Cam Reddish is the reason that we don't get Mark Williams, I'm gonna be very intrigued and pretty upset here. I mean, this is just absurd. Rescinded. You rarely ever see this. It's not even like it was vetoed, which doesn't happen really now since the Chris Paul trade to the Lakers, or Chris Paul trade, sorry, in general. It just doesn't happen anymore. It just doesn't happen. And now we're at a point where someone failed to satisfy a condition. Now, is this the Hornets saying, hey, we got finesse, we see the media attention, someone failed a physical, or is it just Cam Reddish isn't healthy, or Mark Williams? But I don't think it'll be Mark Williams because, again, the side that failed was the Charlotte Hornets, which doesn't even make sense in itself. We are without Mark Williams. And this isn't going to take the steam out of, the Lakers are on a roll, 31-19. The team is absolutely rolling. They're coming off a huge win where Austin Reaves played fantastic. Talk about awkwardness. You now have Dalton Knecht, who was traded, back on your team. Same goes for the Hornets. You have your young superstar center. So now the Lakers keep their 2030 first-round pick, but you can't use it to upgrade the team this year. So this team goes from a team that was really had a chance to win the championship. I still think they do. You're going to have to pivot heavily to the buyout market for a center. We're going to have tons of videos covering that, but it makes no sense. I don't understand how the trade. I'm very curious to see what the details are because at this point in time, it's just beyond ridiculous. I mean, the trade has been rescinded. It doesn't. And again, it's from the Hornets side, right? And you could see, we know Luka's coming back Monday, and JJ Redick came out earlier today and even said, like, it seems that Luka and Mark Williams and LeBron will be ready to go, though we didn't see Mark Williams on the bench. So, rescinded due to a failure to satisfy a condition of the trade. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on this, because at this point, people are confused. Lakers fans are upset. I mean, did Mark Williams fail the physical? I don't think that would be the case. It seems a lot more likely that something, again, according to Jovan Buha, it was on the Hornets side, which is actually a pretty big piece of information here, because you'd assume it had to be one of the players going to the Hornets. I can't imagine Dalton Connect to fail the physical. I mean, maybe Cam Reddish would fail the physical, and if Cam Reddish's failed physical is what led to this team not trading for Mark Williams, I will be thoroughly, thoroughly upset. And I mean, talking about Mark Williams, like, he's been very good. His health has always been a concern, and that's why a lot of people think that it is a Mark Williams side, but apparently it's the Hornets side. Again, Mark Williams this season in 23 games, averaging 15 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists a game. I mean, he's really been playing well, especially over the last handful of games. He looks fairly healthy. There were some rumors that dropped that were proven to be false about him not being able to lift weights because of his back, which is also reportedly false. Like, it would make sense for it to be a Mark Williams physical, but if it's on the Hornets side, you'd have to assume that it's not the Lakers saying they don't want Mark Williams. It seems that the Hornets rescinded the trade, and did they do so because they're scared of what the media attention was? But this is a huge issue for the Lakers right now. This is a massive issue. You do not have a starting center. The trade deadline has passed. What on earth are you going to do with this team? Jackson Hayes is your starting center. Trey Jemison is your backup center. The biggest hole in your roster, which was Mark Williams, is no longer filled. It affects the contention level of this team. I do think they're still an extremely good team. I mean, there's been some rumblings of going out and getting Dwight Howard. You need to get somebody in the buyout market, and there's not many centers that are available. Even Alex Len, who was bought out, is now signed with another team, with the Pacers, who you just played. So, I mean, it's just, I'm at a loss for words. Jackson Hayes is your starting center right now, and it's not Mark Williams. It doesn't take, you're going up against the Pacers tonight, of course, which you beat the Jazz, the Hornets, and the Trailblazers. You have a set of easy games here. You have to acquire a center, but you can't trade for a center. It's going to have to be in the buyout market. What on earth is going on? Failure to satisfy a condition of the trade. I have to assume it's from the Hornets side, which, like Jovan Buha said, is Cam Reddish hurt? Is something crazy? Dalton Connect is back now, which helps with the bench. It helps with shooting a little bit. But man, oh man, the situation keeps getting crazier. We're going to keep you up to date with all the latest news. You're going to make sure to hit that subscribe button. But what a crazy, crazy trade deadline. And the Lakers need to fix their center position. Cheers.